What's up guys, McDoubles here, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about WoW's private server scene, specifically the private server called Ascension WoW. Now, I've been playing on the server with a friend of mine for quite a while now, and I'm not quite max level because of all the re-rolling, but I am level 43, and I definitely have high opinions and high good feelings about this server. And I just wanted to go in depth just a little bit about the way the server works, my build specifically and how it's panned out so far, a few of my feelings about the game in general, and then where I want to take this channel in the future. So first of all, I think it's very important to understand that when I talk about this server, I am referring specifically to the seasonal realms that they have. Now, right now it is Season 3, and the way it works is that everybody has random abilities. They call this wildcard mode. Now, essentially what happens is you make a new character. Right now we have Ballsack Jones right here, and everybody goes into the starting zone for their race. And what you see is what looks like a bunch of people leveling up. In reality, what they're using is this handy-dandy item here that everybody starts with from level 1 called the Dice of Destiny. Now, the Dice of Destiny is going to be a very good and very important item for you when you are making a new character on the Ascension server. The Dice of Destiny is going to be what dictates the abilities that you start the game with. So everybody is clicking it constantly, trying to re-roll 4, 3, or 5 abilities or so to start the game with. Now, obviously, this is going to be restricted by level. You cannot roll into, for example, Blade Storm or Shadow Form at level 1. But you can re-roll into some very interesting things. For example, Tame Pet, which is going to cost 5 ability essence. Now, most abilities only cost 2, with that varying based on how useful the ability is. So something useless, such as, for example, Beast Lore, right here, that's going to be relatively useless for you in the entire game, no matter what, and that's only going to cost 1 ability essence. Every time you reach 2 ability essence, you will automatically get an ability. This does mean, however, that Tame Pet is not achievable outside of rolling it at the very beginning of the game. So if you do want a pet, make sure to get it then. Now, one thing to keep in mind is you can actually roll onto 1 AE, that is ability essence, 1 AE abilities, even with 1 ability essence available. So you can get unlucky in that regard. To give you an example, you can also get 2 of them with 2 ability essence. To give you an example, I have Eddie Linguini. He's a character I made as an outlaw, who I probably won't be playing again in the future, but I do want to do something similar to this soon. And the reason I had to quit playing him was because he rolled Slowfall. He rolled Beast Lore. He rolled Water Breathing as an undead, Auto Shot as a melee character, but Detect Traps. Okay? So that was 4 or 5 useless abilities, and if I re-roll them, I'm only going to get other useless abilities off of them, or nothing. And I'd be given 1 ability essence, and then I would have to wait till I level up. So basically, it's not worth the re-roll. This is because on Ascension servers, you can only re-roll if you have a Scroll of Fortune, and you get them very, very sparingly. They take the randomness seriously. A lot of it is for balance. So every 10 levels, you will be given 1 Scroll of Fortune, and you will also be given 3 free Scrolls of Fortune at any capital city just by talking to Nozdormu. So you can see that with this server, the build that you come up with, the build that you random and make the most out of, is going to dictate everything from the fun that you have to your effectiveness in both PvE and PvP, and that is a big, big drawing point to many players, including myself. So one thing I'd like to do real quick is give you an example with my McDoubles character here, who I've leveled to 43, and I think I enjoy him enough. I've gotten lucky enough and also been able to make the most out of his abilities enough to where I feel like he's going to be my first level 60. So, first of all, let's just start off by listing off the abilities we were given. We have Conjure Water, Rend, we have Aspect of the Monkey, Aspect of the Viper, we have Tame Beast and its corresponding abilities, including Mend Pet, which does not come with Tame Beast, so I had to roll that separately. We also have Sprint, Shadow Burn, Earth Shock, Earthbind Totem, Stone Skin Totem, Consecration, Redemption, Flash Heal, Mongoose Bite, Hammer of Justice, Hand of Freedom, Blessing of Might, Distract, and Stealth. So what did we do with these abilities? Well, very early into the creation of this character, the first abilities I was given consisted of Rend, Mongoose Bite, Earth Shock, and I believe it was Stealth. And we didn't even have a heal for the longest time. But I knew that with Mongoose Bite and Rend, I could do quite a lot of damage with a two-handed weapon and a bleed build, very similar to how Arms Warriors play. So I put 2 points into Improved Rend, 3 points into Deep Wounds, 1 point into Anger Management was actually randomed for me. I did not choose this myself, I was given it. And then I put 3 points into Two-Handed Weapons Specialization. With these skills, I'm able to do quite a lot of damage with a primarily bleed-based build. Now, one thing that's important to understand is that with Mongoose Bite and with now 2 points in Savage Strikes, which increases the critical strike chance of my Mongoose Bite by 20%, I am able to get more Deep Wounds procs off by critting more with Mongoose Bite when I attack. Now, obviously, my build doesn't look great when you compare it to a classic, typical, full-grown class like a warrior or a paladin, arms warrior, fury warrior, what have you, because it's a mosh-posh of different abilities all in one. But that's the beauty of it, because we're trying to make the most out of what we have. So I was taking a look at my abilities, and I decided to put 2 points into Focused Fire, because many other talents didn't really make sense for me because of the abilities I was given, so I just went for something that I knew was going to help me for now, no matter what. Focused Fire increases all damage I do by 2% while my tamed pet is active, and the critical strike chance of my tamed pet's special abilities is increased by 20% while Kill Command is active. Now, the second part of it is irrelevant, but we do maintain a straight 2% damage increase with this talent, which is at least more damage, and it's doing something for us, and that's kind of what you have to go for sometimes. Alright, so I also wanted to talk about some of the less obvious talent choices that we took, and then I'm going to show you it in action. So we're going to start off with the Elemental Shaman tree. This is one that I took towards the end as it required level 40 to put points into it. Storm, Earth, and Fire. This is going to give my Earthbind totem a 100% chance to root targets for 5 seconds, which is incredibly important in PvP. Especially when I don't have any kind of ranged, slow, like Frost Shock. I also don't have any gap closers like Charge, so having this root is incredibly important for my sticking power. To go hand in hand with that, we also have Earth's Grasp. This increases the radius of my Earthbind totem by 20%, meaning I can root more people around me at a larger radius. We also put 3 points into Flurry, which increases our melee attack speed by 15% for your next 3 swings after dealing a melee critical strike, which works well with our build as we do crit quite often, especially with the Mongoose Bite talent. We also went ahead and put 2 points into Pursuit of Justice. This reduces the duration of all disarm effects by 50%, which is very good for a melee build right off the bat, but it also increases our movement speed by 15% and our mounted movement speed by 10%. This makes us faster than any other person who did not take this talent when mounted, allowing us to chase people down. It also gives us better sticking power since we don't have any kind of gap closer. Having the extra movement speed while on foot is very beneficial to our PvP prowess. Go hand in hand with that, we also put 2 points into Improved Sprint in the Combat Rogue tree. This gives Sprint a 100% chance to remove all movement impairing effects when you activate it, and it also reduces the cooldown by 1 minute, and makes me immune to all movement impairing abilities for 4 seconds when I use my Combat Sprint. So, this means that if I am in a Frost Nova, I can pop Sprint to get out of it. This also prevents me from getting slowed, so this acts as a pseudo gap closer for us. It also acts as a way to get away. And lastly, we put 3 points in the Camouflage, which is basically required if you want to use Stealth on this server, as it will increase your speed while stealth by 15%, making it closer to 100% than it would have been otherwise. And it also reduces the cooldown of Stealth by 3 seconds, allowing you to use it more often and more effectively, while also increasing the duration by 15 seconds, putting it at 45 seconds. Stealth is not indefinite on this server for the sake of balance. It only baseline lasts 30 seconds. So having this is very important. I've also considered putting 3 points in the Master of Deception to greatly reduce the chance enemies have a chance to detect me while stealth. But I am not a stealth-based build, and I think I should be fine just by using it as a way to close gaps, gank people when they completely don't expect it, and occasionally hide behind a tree and just not be noticed so that I can get away from people who might be chasing me. So, now that you guys have an idea of what our build is like, and some of the reasoning behind why we chose the talents that we did, I would like to show you guys the build in action. But before I do that, let me just go ahead and show you guys the gear that we have. Just a quick rundown, nothing too in-depth, because it does change constantly, and I'm only level 43. But we do have very good gear for our level. So, I'm just going to quickly go down. We have a Marauder Circlet of the Bear, 10 stamina, 9 strength. A Tumultuous Necklace of the Monkey, 7 agility, 7 stamina. A Forest Tracker Epaulets, 5 strength and 11 agility. We have Lord's Cape of the Whale with 8 spirit, 8 stamina. Carapace of the Tutankash, 10 strength, 8 agility, 15 stamina. We have a Mithril Scale Bracer at 7 strength and 7 stamina. We also have Plated Fist of Haku, 10 strength, 10 agility, 10 stamina. Thick Scale Belt of the Bear with 6 stamina and 6 strength. Plains Guard Leggings with 7 strength and 8 stamina. We have Phalanx Boots of the Bear at 6 stamina, 6 strength. 2 rings, Thunderbrow Ring at 8 strength and 3 agility, and Mark of Curran with 4 stamina and plus 20 attack power. 2 trinkets as well, Insignia of the Horde, which lets us break out of any CC, and Cold Basilisk Eye, which simply increases the time between my target's attacks by 5%, not too great. Then we also have Ravager, which is the weapon you get from Herod from Scarlet Monastery Armory. It's just very strong. And then we have the Silencer, which is a stat stick, giving us 14 attack power. So it's important to understand that the build that we have is actually not very good, but we're still able to make the most out of it. So I'm just showing it to you in combat against this gorilla, just to give you an idea. The damage is not that bad in PvE. Now, if I was to fight other players, it would be a different story. At that point, my build is going to matter a lot more, and I'm not going to fare as well. However, at the very least, against NPCs and for regular questing, the build has performed relatively well. And we're able to take down quest mobs with relative ease. So my overall impressions of the Ascension server is that it is a very, very competitive and very, very fun server for anybody who has played WoW in the past, who would just like to experience something different. So my plans for this server is to actually create an outlaw character, which I will detail in future videos, exactly what being an outlaw means. And I plan to re-roll on a different server that is not Elune. That way I can have more of a fresh player experience, as they do have newer realms that have only been out for a couple weeks as of this video being out. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you guys enjoyed the Ascension WoW rundown, and I hope you guys check out this server with the link I have below. So I hope I see you guys next time. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys next time.